Hello everybody, I'm Razorblade Mango, and, well, we've reached the end of 2015, and it's finally that time of year again where we all make a bunch of lists based on different categories, top 10 games of the year, top 10 films of the year, worst films of the year, worst games of the year, most surprising, most disappointing, and yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna do that too. Last year, I know I didn't really do as many lists as I probably should have. That was just because I was strapped for time and because I didn't see a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. I think I did. I'm pretty sure the ones I did were bottom 5, top 10, and most anticipated. So here's how the listing is gonna go this year. The first one, which you're listening to right now, this is going to be the most disappointing games of 2015, because this is the list that I made first. It's the one that I want to get out of the way first, because this is actually my least favorite list to do, because I don't like thinking about these games, and I don't like going on and on and on about how disappointing they were, how blah blah, because I just don't like to think about what a wasted potential they were. And then I don't know what's going to come next. I'm definitely, the ones that are going to be last are the films, because there's still a ton of films I still need to see from this year, and I'm not comfortable doing a top 10 or a bottom 10 until I've seen every film that I want to see from 2015, which is still about 30. So that list probably won't come until about March or April, maybe even May. But I will be doing top 10 and bottom 10 films of 2015. It just isn't going to be like everybody else, where it's like right at the end of the year, because I'm not a film critic, and I don't have access to these like screenings and the screeners and stuff like that. So look for those much later. Top 10 games, probably going to be sometime in January. I still have 2 games that I need to play before I feel comfortable making that list. Most anticipated is probably going to come after that, because I want to end the games portion on a happy note. And as far as my worst games, though, I'm actually going to do something different this year, because I really only have 4 games that I want to talk about, and to me that's not really worth making a list of one big video over. So I'm going to combine that with like the worst moments of this year, and combine that together into like the top 10 things I hated about 2015, and just have that be a list. And that would probably be the list that comes after the top 10 most anticipated, top 10 best games of 2015. Alrighty, so let's get started on the. I have 5 games I want to talk about. My most disappointing games of 2015. And these are games that, there's only one on here that I really dislike. But all of these other ones, they aren't terrible games. They're just games that really let me down. And they're games that really had a lot of potential, had a lot of really good stuff going for it, whether it was like the past entries being so good, or a new franchise that was looking to be really great. But for whatever reason, they disappointed me. They fell short of my expectations, really fell short of my expectations, and were just sad. They were sad to play, and not in a good way. It was just sad because I expect better from these games, these properties. Case of one, maybe not better, but I expected something. So here you go, the most disappointing games of 2015. So, the first game I want to talk about is Destiny Year 2. So, I made a video about how I was going to give Destiny another chance, because I'd given up on it last year. So I just got so tired of the grinding and the same old objectives. And it felt like the game was just going nowhere, and I jumped off the train when I was done. I'm done with this game. So I made a video where I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it another chance, because I like a lot of the things that I'm seeing from The Taken King. It looks interesting. So here you go. I mean, I'm definitely into this. It looks good. I picked up Destiny again thanks to a friend of mine who got me a discount, and I was very happy. So I only ended up paying, I think, $40 for the Taken King Legendary Edition, where it usually costs $60, and it still costs $60 today. And I will admit, I liked the Taken King. I actually liked it quite a bit. Is it great? No. It has a lot of problems, and it still doesn't fix some of the problems that was in vanilla Destiny, such as the light system, which is, I still don't understand why that's a thing. Multiplayer is still not that great. I mean, it's still, like, initially, once the initial fun wears off, you see just how shallow and dull it is. But I liked it. I was engaged with the story. What I played of the raid was fun, and I liked a lot of the strikes that they included with the Taken King. Some, like the Sun Cell one, and the one where you're fighting the two what the hell are those guys called? Whatever, the two Martian guys together. I really liked those strikes. So it's not the Taken King that I was disappointed with. It's how they're dealing with year 2 of Destiny itself. Because after the Taken King, it's kind of like, okay, now what's gonna happen? Like, what other cool stuff is gonna come out? Well, here's the problem with that. For a while there, they were just kind of repeating the same old stuff. They were like, oh, here's the Trials of Osiris, here's the Iron Banner, here's Sparrow Racing now, which actually I ended up really disliking the Sparrow Racing stuff. And I just felt like a lot of that was just really hollow. And when they announced that a lot of the stuff that they're going to be doing in 2016, at least until you guys know Destiny 2 is coming. Destiny 2 is going to be announced next year, and it's going to be released in September or October, or whenever the hell it's going to come out. It's going to be Destiny 2. It's going to be another $60 that people are going to have to pay, and they'll transfer their characters over, blah, 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 whatever. So, but what we're getting now in year 2 is really underwhelming. I mean, I don't care about the Iron Banner. I don't care about Sparrow Racing. I don't care about Trials of Osiris. I play Destiny for PvE, not PvP, and it's the same problem that Bungie did last year with this, where they focused so much on the PvP portion of it that people that really don't care about competitive multiplayer were like, hey, where's our stuff? Where's PvE? Well, tough shit. You're not going to get anything for PvE, at least until the terrible Dark Below DLC, the slightly average House of Wolves, and then the Taken King, which was pretty good. And it's just, they're doing this thing where they literally said, oh, we're not going to do big expansions. We're going to have more weekly events that are focused on microtransactions. And that's like, oh dear. Oh boy. And taking a look at the microtransactions, now the silver thing, I don't mind. I actually don't mind the silver stuff because it's used just for cosmetics, which don't provide any, they're just the dumb emotes. They don't provide any stat boosts or anything like that, or at least to my knowledge now they don't, because I haven't played the game in a while. At least extensively played the game in a while. But I don't see anything wrong with the Destiny Silver stuff. I mean, that's fine if you want to have it be cosmetic stuff only. Here's my problem. Now, where my problems lie with the microtransactions are these character packs, where for a level, it's not even a fully leveled up one. It's a level 25 Hunter, Titan, and Warlock packs for $30. Half the price of the game is it. You're selling these like not even like these like sort of halfway leveled up character packs for $30. Wow, that is outrageous. That is outrageously priced for something like that. And I know Bungie like gave this excuse like, oh, we're just testing the waters to see what people think about it. Well, people hate it. So, and it's been like a month now, and they haven't taken it off yet, so nice going, guys. You just pissed off your community even more. And people are already, like, really pissed off, which is the weird thing. Is like the game still has, which is what I understood it back then. I just don't get it now, because Destiny players, like hardcore Destiny players, are repeatedly getting, like, asked for more money. They're like, hey, you want more stuff? Give us more money. Give us more. You've already paid $60. You've already probably paid, like, over $120 for everything. You paid $60 for the vanilla version. You paid $40 for the Taken King. You paid $20 for the Dark Below. You paid $20 for the Hunter Pass. And even with the expansion pass, you paid $30. So you're spending at least $130 on a game that doesn't even have the same amount of content as something like The Witcher 3. Which I just don't understand. And now they're asking for more money. This game, Destiny, is turning into a free-to-play thing, which I think is Activision and Bungie's intent. So, I think it would just benefit Destiny if they just cut the bullshit with the whole, have people pay maybe, I don't know, $30 for the full thing, and then charge these microtransactions, but asking $60 for this game that doesn't even really have... It has a little bit. It's like that point, in my opinion, where it's worth $60. But then everything after that, it's like give us more money. Pay $50 for 5,800 Destiny silver coins or whatever. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. And the game itself hasn't changed. I mean, all the events that they do now, they're just the same thing. It's like here's the objectives. You have to do the same shit over and 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 over again in these events in order to even have a chance at getting some, like, higher level endgame stuff. It's the same thing. It's just another, like, progression treadmill. It's the same tired objective. It's the same grinding through the game. And you're just doing the same shit over and over again until Bungie decides to release Destiny 2, which is going to happen next year. And I guarantee you, Destiny 2 is just going to be the same thing over and over and over and over again. I mean, initially it might not. Initially it might be like the Taken King, where I thought, hey, this game has turned a new leaf. It's doing something cool. Let's see where it goes. And then it just comes back and slaps you right in the fucking face. Just BAM! Right there. Just for that one slap, pay me $10. Want another one? $20, $30, $40. Ha ha ha! Oh, you want something fun? Oh, well, $50. Yay. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm off. I'm off the train for good. Sorry, Bungie. Sorry, Activision. You're not gonna get me a third time. Shame. Like, the saying. Like, I always say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, that's right. I was wrong. I'll admit it. I was wrong. I'm off. I'm off the train. I'm not being fooled a third time. I don't give a damn how good the game looks. I don't give a damn how amazing they're going to promise me that Destiny 2 is going to be, or Destiny whatever the hell they're going to call it. I don't care. I'm done. I don't care how many of my friends or how many people go, hey, Razorblade Mango, you want to play some Destiny? Come on, man, let's play some Destiny. Nope. Done. Nope. Out. Done. On to better stuff. I'm probably still going to be playing stuff like Rocket League and The Witcher 3 and Bloodborne and all that by next September, whenever the hell they decide to release Destiny 2. Done. No fucking thank you. Done. Destiny, year 2, you failed. No, not gonna fucking happen. No. Off the hype train. See you later. The next game I want to talk about is The Order 1886. Oh boy. So it was very obvious from the get-go, from the very moment that Sony showed the game at E3 2013, that they were grooming this to be their next big system-selling franchise. And given the concept of it, rightfully so. I mean, the concept of it is great. I love this idea of the Knights of the Round Table being in an alternate reality Victorian era London fighting vampires and werewolves and shit. I mean, that sounds kick-ass. And when I found out what the game was going to be about, like our imaginations just ran wild with what the possibilities of what this was going to be. I mean, from the trailer, like what I thought it was going to be like some 4-player story-driven like a game where you could go at it alone in the game, but you could have up to 4 people playing alongside you. I mean, and it looked badass. The visuals were spectacular. It definitely showcases the power of the PS4. Looked great. Tons of potential. But as the months went on, we found out more and more about what this game was actually going to be, my anticipation for it just slowly started to become more and more deflated until I finally played it, and I was very, very bummed out by what we ended up getting. So, this is one of the big, disappointments. I think it's like universally known that the Order 1886 is like a big disappointment of this year, because there's so much room for potential, and then the structure, the concept is there. The idea to have it be a great game is there. The problem is that Ready at Dawn took that concept and went like a completely opposite, weird direction with it. A direction that really does more to hinder the game's potential than enhance it. Because, I mean, you can tell that what they really want to be doing is making a movie. Because that's what the Order 1886 basically is. It's an interactive movie. It's a shitty interactive movie at that. I mean, they were making a big deal about how, it's not a big deal that the game is only 6 hours long. It's what happens in it that's important. It doesn't matter if we lift whole sections from Gears of War and stuff like that and our third person cover based shooting that. No, it's the story you need to focus on. And the story is dog shit. The story is laughable. It's like bits and pieces. It doesn't have besides the concept alone, it doesn't have an original bone in its body. It's the same shit you've seen from so many games, so many movies, so many books. It's like a cop story. It's basically a cop story. It feels so much like the story for Battlefield Hardline. It's so weird. It's so weird that a game like this has the same story as a cop game where you are like a cop and you find a conspiracy is going on, you get kicked off the force, and you have to team up with it's so weird. It is so, I don't know what they were trying to do with this. I mean, it's such a confusing mess. It's a mess. Because whenever, it feels like all the gameplay sections in it are so obligatory. It's like, oh, well, I guess we have to include gunplay in it. Here you go. And it's like the most boring shooting bits ever, mixed with cheap-ass enemies, pathetic boss battle. There's only one boss battle, and they use it twice in the game. Once in like one of the early chapters and the final boss. It's the same thing. It's the same QuickTime event. And don't even get me started on the damn QuickTime events. It's like every time it's like, oh, it's a movie. It's a movie. You just sit back and enjoy. No, it's not. It's not a fucking movie. Because a movie doesn't make you press buttons on the remote every fucking 30 seconds or whatever. And they're just so boring. And then the story is so dull. And you can't just sit there and put the controller down and just go to sleep during these cutscenes. No, because the game's constantly asking you to, press triangle to not die. Press X to not die. Press square if you want to keep the story going. It's boring. It is very, very boring. And this is not the system seller it wanted it to be. It is... I mean, this, even a month after this game came out, they were dropping the price. that ludicrously expensive, like $150 prestige edition or some kind of edition or whatever. It was like dropped to $100, and now the prestige edition that cost $150 before, if you're able to find it at your local like GameStop or Best Buy or whatever, it's $60. It's what the game cost at release. So you get all that for $60. Yeah, I mean, this was a disaster. I mean, I've never admitted this on my channel, but now that I don't work for them anymore, I think it's okay if I did. I used to work for GameStop. I mean, I used to work for GameStop before I even started this channel, and now that I'm out, I can actually talk about my time in it. And one of the more interesting interactions I've had working there was that I actually got to talk to multiple members of Ready at Dawn, and before and after the game came out. Before the game came out, they wanted my feedback. I personally talked to a few of them. I talked to like one of the guys behind the art direction. I talked to one of the guys behind like the character model design, stuff like that. It was interesting talking to these developers, because they actually gave me, they were like, what is your opinion on the game so far? Like how it's being marketed. And I gave them my opinion. I told my honest opinion how the game, looks beautiful, the art direction's amazing, but everything else about it I'm not impressed with. And weirdly enough, I get the sense that Ready at Dawn knew this, that Ready at Dawn we're thinking that, because the story is apparently so good and then like the graphics are so incredible, which they are, that everybody else is just gonna look over how shallow and boring the game is. And they were wrong, because everybody blasted this game for that. Even like the more positive opinions I've seen have still major caveats in them that are like, hey, the gunplay kind of sucks, the story has problems, but it's still an interesting game. And I'm definitely on the more negative side of it. And what's so odd about this too is that when I talked to people from Ready at Dawn after the game came out, they confided in me that it was, and I'm not going to name names, but some of them were like, yeah, the game is a piece of shit. The game sucks. And it wasn't just me they talked to. It was like my coworkers that they talked to as well. It was like, hey, this game sucks. This game is a piece of shit. And I'm very sorry that I worked on it. And like verbatim, that's what I heard from these developers. And I have to think that the higher-ups were the ones that controlled a lot of what was going to happen in the game. Or Sony was like issuing them orders as to what this game was going to be. Because it's just weird hearing from a studio that made like one of the biggest high-profile exclusives for a specific console come back to you and go, yeah, our game sucks. And it wasn't even like a few weeks after the game had come out. It was like a week after the game had come out. And they were, I know, and I feel bad talking shit about them, because it's like, I know I've like personally met people from Ready at Dawn that have told me, like I was very disappointed with how the game turned out. And they even called us and were like, hey, how's the game selling? And we kind of had to like lie and go like, yeah, the game is selling really well. It's doing good. But, deep down we all knew that, oh, yeah, this game was not doing great. It really wasn't selling that much. And people just weren't really interested. I mean, whatever people were interested, they just gave back in like a heartbeat. I mean, we had like a ton of used copies of this game. Tons and tons, because people just were done with it. It was just like they used it once and just threw it away. So this is a game that is severely lacking any longevity. It's a game that has a artistic vision with its head so shoved so far up its own ass about how, look how beautiful our game is, look how amazing our game is, look how detailed our environments are. So we're going to have you walk through all these environments in the most slow way possible so you get a sense of what our detailed world is like. And it's like, guys, I'm not going to be interested in how detailed your world is. What I'm going to be thinking is how fucking boring the game is. Which is what it is. It's a boring, shallow, quote-unquote, game that has really boring gameplay, has really boring story. It's really boring writing, really boring character interaction. Laughable. That's another word. Laughable, with one of the most insulting sequel bait endings I have ever seen in a game. Like the most presumptuous, pretentious shit, where it's like, oh yes, we know our game is so good that we're gonna get a sequel. Nope. Nope. I'll be very, very surprised now that Ready at Dawn is away from Sony, that they're actually going to do another Order 1886. Or maybe Sony will just hang on to the license and give it to another developer. One that will take the graphics engine and actually use it for something good. Oh, and one more thing. Stop putting black bars at the top and bottom of your game. It doesn't make the game more cinematic. It just makes it more frustrating when I have to look, when I'm constantly being blocked. My vision is being blocked by these fucking black bars when I'm trying to see who to shoot. They did that in The Evil Within, and it annoyed me then. They're doing it in the Order 1886, and it annoys the hell out of me then. Stop doing that. So, because, this, thankfully, Bloodborne and Until Dawn came out this year, and those were at least good. So, thank God the PS4 exclusive lineup wasn't complete crap in 2015. We had some cool stuff, but imagine if this was the game that Sony was going to bank the entire year of big budget exclusives on. We would have been screwed. Totally, royally screwed. They would have been laughed out of the industry. Maybe not laughed out of the industry, but it would have been an embarrassment. But they have Bloodborne and they have Until Dawn, so they're safe for now as far as 2015 goes. But yeah, 2015, not a great year for exclusives, and the Order 1886 really didn't do them any favors. It really disappointed me, and I think part of the reason why there was such a lack of marketing for Until Dawn is because they were scared as Until Dawn would have been received just like the Order 1886. So imagine that the reception to a really crappy game influenced the marketing and exposure of a really good game. And thankfully Until Dawn was good, so yeah. The Order 1886 could have been that system seller, could have been great, could have been amazing, could have been the next Uncharted, could have been the next God of War, but it wasn't. It sucked. It was disappointing. The next one of the most disappointing games of 2015 is one that hits me right in my nostalgia. Just a serious blow to my nostalgia. And that is Star Wars Battlefront. EA. I waited 10 years for another Star Wars Battlefront. And like many, I was extremely excited when they announced another Star Wars Battlefront was being made at E3 2013. But right when the initial, shock and awe wore off, the next thought that came into my mind was, oh, it's EA. Shit. And I was like, okay, I hope they really don't screw this up, because they have a template to work from. I mean, the first two Battlefronts, while not perfect, are really fun, and especially the second one remains one of my favorite games ever. But according to DICE and EA, the first two games don't exist because they just completely discarded almost everything that made those games cool and replaced it with a really shallow, mainly multiplayer-focused, boring progression system-based game that just falls flat at almost every turn and feels like a downgrade from Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars, what would have been Star Wars Battlefront 3 if Pandemic was still around. Everything that this game should have had, space, seamless ground to space combat, instant action, Galactic Conquest, prequel units, classes, space battles at all in a Star Wars game? Like no space battles in a Star Wars game? Okay, I don't buy that excuse about how, oh, well, the first one didn't have it, so it's like, yeah, but that was 2003 or 2004. This is 2015. Why does it feel like a downgrade compared to those other two games? And this game is not worth $60. I don't care what anybody says. It is not worth 60 games. The longevity of this game is questionable. Very, very questionable at best. And everything that you see in the game and can be done in about 2 to 3 hours. Pretty much. I mean, you can see everything this game has to offer and can offer and will offer within 2 to 3 hours. And what's your motivation beyond that? Well, I mean, if you want to unlock all the cool stuff, like if you want to unlock the ability to play as different species in the Rebel side, or to play as the Shadow Trooper or the Snow Trooper on the Imperial side, you gotta grind up to level 50, guys. And then you gotta grind even more to get those credits. You gotta grind even more to get the cool shit that you want to actually play as. Because the customization is so limited in the beginning that the game is basically just making you... You're like a guinea pig to them. You're just like, oh, you're a guinea pig. Here's your guinea pig. Here's your hamster wheel. Go for it. And the player is just that guinea pig, just constantly just running on that guinea pig wheel, and it's just gonna keep on going and going and going forever. And then once you've spent bazillion hours getting all the credits, getting all the level unlocks that you need to get to unlock everything cool, you're gonna sit there and your eyes are just gonna be bugged out of your head from lack of sleep and the fact that you don't give a shit, and you're just gonna go, why in the hell did I even bother? Why did I even bother? And the game, I mean, I think a lot of people give Star Wars Battlefront a pass because of how stunningly it recreates the Star Wars atmosphere, which it does. If there's one thing this game does right, like perfect, flawless 10 out of 10, it's the recreation of the Star Wars universe. Like, the way Endor looks is breathtaking. I mean, I didn't even want to participate in the matches. I just wanted to run around and see what they had done to make the game look amazing. Hoth looks beautiful, even though there's no Wampas or the Tauntauns or anything. It's just, there's no creatures. The Ewoks don't even help you on Endor, and that's the problem. It's like this beautiful diorama, which there's a diorama mode in the game, by the way, because everybody was asking for that. So, but it's like this really amazing diorama. It's like you look at it and it looks amazing, but it just feels so hollow. It feels so empty. And there's not a lot of cool stuff going on in the world to make you actually care that ties into what you're doing in what mode. I mean, why don't we have the Ewoks help you on Endor? Why aren't there Tauntauns for the Imperials to ride around in on Hoth? I mean, we had that in Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, where if you were playing on Endor and you were the rebels, you can have the Ewoks help you. You can have the ATSTs walk into the log trap from Return of the Jedi and have it just smash right there. I mean, you could set traps like that, and those are really cool to pull off because they felt thematic. They gave you that sense of nostalgia because you saw that when you were a kid, when you saw Return of the Jedi. That is how you do it. Unfortunately, they don't have anything like that in Star Wars Battlefront because all it is just blasty, shooty, shooty. And the gunplay is alright. I mean, I like the gunplay in it, but it's nothing like really spectacular. Most of the modes are just forgettable. I mean, the modes that I really liked were Drop Zone, Hero Hunt, and Fighter Squadron. And even those, the more you play them, they get tiring after a while. And there's just so many balance issues and problems with Walker Assault and Supremacy, and the droid run mode is so boring. The Heroes versus Villains mode is boring and is not what I wanted at all from this. I mean, the content is so lacking. There's like very few modes in it, very little maps for a multiplayer only $60 game. There's only like 3 heroes on each side. I mean, where's Lando? Where's Chewbacca? Where's Yoda? Where's like all these guys that could have contributed so much to the game? Where are the prequel units? Where's prequel stuff? Why don't we have... I know Disney is trying to make people forget that the prequels exist, because like the fanboy culture out there is like, oh, fuck the prequels, they're so terrible. You have people telling me when I try to tell people that I didn't really care for Force Awakens, because I don't, by the way, that, like the prequel, and I think the prequels are better. Most of the prequels are better than the Force Awakens, and it's like, oh well, the prequels are objectively terrible, and I think that's the mindset that Disney has, unfortunately, because they want to appeal to all these fanboys that are like, oh, the prequels are terrible, the prequels are so bad, but the prequel units in the movies were cool. Why don't we have the Clone Wars? Why isn't Dagobah a map for both Imperial and for both the Galactic Conquest and the Galactic War? Sorry, Galactic War and the Clone Wars. Why? Where's Coruscant? Where's Maijito? Where's Utapau? Where's Kamino? Where's all these cool environments that they could have taken and reworked it with this breathtaking, this amazing these amazing visuals? Why? Why are they holding back? Oh, right, for the $50 season pass, because that is going to include all the modes and all the shit that we wanted from the game initially, but you gotta pay almost the price of a whole nother game to get it. What the fuck? Why? Stop doing that. Stop doing season passes like this. That is outrageous. $50? $50? Good lord. So here you have it, guys. Another property that we all wanted, another sequel that we wanted to see, has been sucked up by EA. Had all the life sucked out of it, and had all the soul just completely removed, and then spat back out as just a dead husk of its former self. What a sad day this is. Good job, EA. Good job, DICE. You've just taken one of my favorite games when I was a kid. One of my favorite series when I was a kid, and you just sucked everything out of it that I really wanted. Fuck off. That's all I can say. Just fuck off. And if they decide to do, oh god, if they turn this into a yearly franchise, of like we're gonna get Star Wars Battlefront EA 2 next year. Ay. This is sad. I mean, this is so disappointing. I waited 10 years for this, for a shallow, hollow Star Wars experience. Very pretty looking one, admittedly. Yeah, it's one of the best looking games I've ever seen, but it just lacks a soul. It's just, where is the soul? Where is it? Where is it? It's in I know where it is. It's in EA's garbage chute. That's where it is. It's in that garbage area from A New Hope. That's where the soul of Battlefront is. EA is the Death Star, and the soul of Battlefront is like right there in the garbage. Good job, EA. Good job, DICE. Big thumbs up to you for fucking up one of my favorite franchises. Nice. Definitely one of the most disappointing games, not just of this year, but one of the most disappointing experiences of ever. Very disappointing. The next game on this list is Mortal Kombat X. This is a game that made me feel like a fool and embarrassed me, because for months I I've been talking about this not just on my channel, but on like with friends in my personal life that were like I was like, oh my god, this game is going to be amazing. It looks incredible. Just everything about it just screams masterpiece. There's no way this is not going to suck. There's no way this is going to be incredible. And the game came out, and I was very, very disappointed by it. And not that it's a bad game. It's all right, but it's hindered by so many modern greedy things that I couldn't take it anymore. I ended up getting rid of it. And I had bought the limited edition when it came out, the one that came with the I think it was the Russian Scorpion skin or something like that. But I was just so underwhelmed by this entire game. I mean, let's start with the basic stuff. The story just really isn't doing anything this time around. It from the trailers, you get the sense this is going to be some epic conflict. It's going to be like this groundbreaking kind of thing, like along the lines of what the last Mortal Kombat did, where the last Mortal Kombat delivered a really good story. And like, if it wasn't a game, it would have been the best Mortal Kombat movie ever. I mean, it was fantastic. And here, you can complete the story in like 2 hours. 2 hours. Even on like higher difficulties. About maybe 3 hours? 3, 4, maybe, are the higher ones. Anyway, it's long story short, it's really, really short. And it's really underwhelming. And they do things with it that I was not expecting, like in a good way. And not in a good way. Where they just kill off characters that you expect to have this big thing, or they just cast aside characters that were hyped up to have big importance. Like, the characters what the hell are their names? Like Devora. I mean, Devora has a big part, but she's just a basic villain. Aaron Black, he's barely in it. Ferrator, they're barely in it, and they're one of the more interesting new characters. And the game focuses way too much on the special ops people. It focuses way too much on like Cassie Cage and Jackie Briggs and Takeda and all these guys. And yeah, the new characters are cool. Like, most of them are really, really cool and really unique. And I love Cassie Cage's voice actress. But the story is just not that interesting this time around. And it's basically just a repeat of Mortal Kombat 4, except with new characters. I mean, I was hoping for something really cool, but we didn't get it. The other thing that bothered me about this is the progression, the way you unlock stuff in just doing stuff in multiplayer and in single player is really, really slow. I mean, there were reports that before the game came out that the progression system, when critics were trying it out, was much quicker. You would be able to earn coins a lot faster. And then when the game came out to the public, they released a patch that made the progression a lot slower. You would earn coins a lot slower. And that was a problem because it was so fucked up, because that was just an attempt to tempt people to buy the gross $20 microtransaction of unlock everything in the crypt. And another problem I have with the crypt itself, while it's an interesting concept, and I like that it's the concept of it being a mini game within a game, I don't like all the jump scares. The jump scares annoyed the shit out of me, especially with how constant they were in the crypt. And for people that are playing it that are sensitive to this kind of thing, there's no option to turn it off. There's no option to turn off the jump scares in the crypt. So if you want to get everything that's in the spider cave, you're going to have to go through the thing with like the spiders jumping out at you every minute and stabbing you. And for people that are like have health issues, that are sensitive to like sudden stuff like that, they're not going to want to play. I mean, they're not going to be able to unlock stuff by themselves. They're going to have somebody else go into it. Or, disgustingly, they're going to have to pay an extra $20 for the goddamn microtransaction. Which, it's such a simple feature for people that are like, their health is affected by this kind of thing. Why isn't there an option to, or some people that simply don't want jump scares in the crypt? Why isn't there an option to turn it off? I mean, if you want people to be in there, cool. If people want the microtransactions in there, cool. I mean, not the microtransactions. People want the jump scares in there, cool. Have an option to turn it off for people that don't want it. But they didn't, and that was annoying as shit. So I was turned off by that. I was also turned off by the easy fatality microtransactions. Easy fatalities. The most iconic thing out of this entire series is now being dumbed down. When back then you had to learn the combos to do fatalities. Now you just you pay money for tokens that make you press one button to execute a fatality. Nice. Where this is what the future of Mortal Kombat. They better get rid of this in the next game. They really better get rid of that in Mortal Kombat 11, because people are going to be pissed if these easy fatalities return. They're insulting. They're just they disgrace the name of this franchise. One of the most influential fighters ever. One of the most iconic games and one of the most iconic series ever is being dumbed down like this. It's sad. Another thing that bothered me is that it just doesn't have a lot of stuff that interested me. It was like the tower was just the basic weekly thing, and the towers were just just there. They didn't really do anything interesting. The lack of 4-player local play was a disappointment. It doesn't have nearly as many stages as Mortal Kombat 9. The characters, the roster is really underwhelming because there's so many returning characters that I don't give a shit about. I mean, I know Melina and I know Katana and I know Kung Lao are fan favorites, but there was no need for them to be in this game. There's absolutely no need. And the characters that you want to be in the game, like Rain and Bo Rai Cho and Baraka, I mean, I don't really care about Baraka, but they're not there. I mean, they have full movesets, but they aren't there. You have to pay for them extra, probably later on. And that in the next season pass, the next combat pass, which is going to have Leatherface and Alien and Bo Rai Cho and now a robot that combines Sector and Cyrax and another robot. I mean, it's oh my god, it's another situation like Destiny, where you buy the game, and yet the game is like, oh, more money, please. $60 apparently wasn't enough. They want more money. More. This is, oh my god. It is embarrassing. This game is a blight on the Mortal Kombat name, and it's not even terrible. I mean, it's a fun game. But its foundation is solid, its gameplay is fun. If it just had more to it, I would have kept it. I would have stayed with it, but no, it lost me early on when it started doing all these things and omitting all this stuff that made Mortal Kombat 9 so much fun. And now Mortal Kombat X, even though it has better graphics and it's beautiful looking and it's got smoother gameplay, it doesn't hold a candle to Mortal Kombat 9, which is like almost 5 years old now. It doesn't even hold a candle to the old Mortal Kombat on the PlayStation 2. Like stuff like Deception and Shaolin Monks and Armageddon stuff. Those were better. Those were better than Mortal Kombat X. I mean, Mortal Kombat X, I mean, it's not the worst Mortal Kombat game ever. It's really not. But it's still a big disappointment because of how much I was promoting it, how much I was really into what I was seeing. And it made me feel like a fool. It just made me feel... It was just embarrassing to have to realize, oh, damn, I was wrong again. Which, yeah, I just like Destiny, I was wrong. And I'm sorry to the people out there that bought the Season Pass because of me. That were, especially to my friends, because they bought the Season Pass because they thought I was going to hang on to it. Which I didn't, so... They paid $100 for nothing, and I from the bottom of my heart, I'm very sorry. And that is why Mortal Kombat X is is higher than Star Wars Battlefront on this list, because I like Star Wars for a while there. Star Wars Battlefront and Mortal Kombat X were kind of interchangeable in those slots, but I realized because I had more hope for Mortal Kombat X than I did for Star Wars Battlefront, that Mortal Kombat X ended up disappointing me more. So, oh, and the guest characters suck. I'm sorry. For a game that one of its big features is the fighters will talk before each fight. No, that's stupid that you include guest characters that don't talk, or guest characters that speak in an alien language or whatever. It's stupid. It's stupid. Where is Ash from Evil Dead? Why isn't Freddy Krueger in this one instead? Where is I don't know, where's Chucky from Child's Play or whatever? Characters that talk. Something. Not Predator, not Alien, not fucking Leatherface, not... No. I'm sorry, no. All around, Mortal Kombat X, huge disappointment. And finally, hands down, the most disappointing game of 2015. One of the most disappointing games ever made, and just an embarrassment for anyone involved. Batman Arkham Knight. And again, this isn't a bad game. It's an okay game. It's average. But that's the problem. It shouldn't have been average. This should have been amazing. This should have been the best game of the year. This should have been like the big bang of Batman. And Rocksteady knows Batman. I know Rocksteady knows Batman. Rocksteady did Arkham Asylum, which is great. They did Arkham City, which is one of my top 10 games of all time. They know Batman better than anybody. And that's what pisses me the fuck off, to see them do this shit. It just was not a good game. And I see people put this game on like the most disappointing games of the year list with an asterisk saying the PC version. Yes, the PC version was embarrassing. It was an unprecedented move by Warner Brothers, who are notorious for saying fuck you to customers for not patching the games up that they paid for. So they gave you a broken game and they're like, well, fuck you, we're going to do DLC instead, like with Arkham Origins. They took the game off the Steam page, wouldn't sell it for months, and even when they put it back on, it still wouldn't work. It still was a disaster, and finally they all went, oh well, fuck it, I guess the game's just gonna remain broken forever. Oh well, if you want a refund, okay, here, we'll take a refund. So the PC version was one of the biggest fuck-ups of this decade. The PC version of the Arkham Knight, one of the biggest controversies of this decade as far as games go. It was a disaster. If there's a poster child for game launch disasters, that would be Arkham Knight PC version. But even so, the PS4 version, I'm talking about the PS4 version. I thought that was a huge letdown. Very, very little of the charm and the risk and the danger and the memorability of Arkham City and Arkham Asylum is here. I mean, it's so lacking. It just feels so generic. The Batmobile ruins a good portion of this game. Why in God's name is Deathstroke fighting Batman in his own Batmobile? I don't know. None of this makes any sense. I hate how the Arkham Knight never fights you one-on-one. It's always in a tank, and the Batmobile sections take up like half of the game, and they're really boring, and they're just dull. And I hate how all the matches are just against drones, and oh my god, all the boss battles are atrocious. Even without the Batmobile, they're atrocious. The story was super weak. I mean, you had twists coming you could see coming a mile away, like Jason Todd being the Arkham Knight. Sorry if you haven't fucking played it. Jason Todd is the Arkham Knight, okay? It's stupid. It is a stupid twist. You can, if you're even having a minute knowledge of Batman lore one-on-one, you know that's coming. The Joker is in it way too much, and I know I've said Mark Hamill is the best thing about this game. His performance as the Joker is like the only like really amazing thing about this game, hands down. Even that is a double-edged sword because it just takes away from what could have been a great showcase for a new villain and for Scarecrow. And again, you're just running around with the Joker because Warner Brothers is scared that a Batman game can't succeed without the Joker. I mean, that's the same thing that happened with Arkham Origins, where we knew the Joker was in it, but he ended up being the main villain again instead of Black Mask. Like you could have given Black Mask a chance to be a great central villain, but no, it's going to be the Joker again, and it's the Joker again this time around because everybody loves the Joker. I love the Joker. He's my favorite villain ever. I'm sick of the Joker. I'm sorry. I am sick and tired of the Joker. I want him gone. I want him to take a break for like 10 years or so. I don't want to see him anymore until that Killing Joke movie I know they're doing from the DC animated stuff. And I love Mark Hamill, but I don't want him as the Joker for a long while. I really want him to not do the Joker anymore after the Killing Joke thing. So they'll stop bringing in the Joker so much, but that probably won't help because they'll just recast the Joker. All the story beats, like Barbara Gordon dying or committing suicide with the influence of the fear toxin, are such a cop-out. And again, no creative rest, no nothing, no establishing its own lore. No iconic moments like Batman carrying Joker's dead body at the end of Arkham Asylum. Arkham City. No iconic moments like the Scarecrow stuff in Arkham Asylum. It's just all Arkham Knight loves to do is just take other ideas from better Batman stories and just glue them all together and try to tell its own semi-original story. It is weak. It's a weak story. Villains in the game that should have had bigger parts are downgraded to side quests that make you do the same thing over again. Penguin, it's always follow a car, follow it to a hideout, beat up bad guys with with Nightwing. You're done. End of story. Two-Face, go to a bank, but take out everybody in the room. Rinse and repeat for about 5 times where you finally get to the battle where Two-Face, you have to knock him down, get all his guys, get Two-Face. It's boring! I'm sorry, it is boring! All the stuff with Penguin and Two-Face and Poison Ivy and all that, all the villains, it's boring! And the worst part, the villains that you want to see, like Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze and Ra's al Ghul and Mad Hatter, they're all DLC. Gotta pay extra for that, which I'm looking at the PlayStation Store page right now. There's about 35 DLC packs in this game. 35! I mean, and some of it I don't even think comes with the ludicrous $40 season pass, which sucked, by the way. The Harley Quinn mission sucked. The Red Hood pack sucked. The Catwoman pack sucked. Batgirl pack sucked. Robin pack sucked. Nightwing pack sucked. They all suck. All these DLC packs suck. And this was a big point in my video about never buying a season pass. Don't buy a season pass until you know the game is going to be good, or at least until one of the DLC packs come out, so you can go, hey, this was not worth buying a season pass for. I'm not going to buy a season pass. There you go. I think Fallout 4 is great. I'm not even going to think about buying that season pass until I see what the first expansion is going to be like. I love The Witcher 3 with all of my heart, but I was not going to buy that expansion pass until I knew what the first expansion was going to look like. And yeah, you could say it's a guarantee considering it's CD Projekt Red that it would have been amazing, but I don't know that. I didn't know that Arkham Knight would be on my most disappointing game of 2015. I didn't know that. There's no guarantee, and yet I made the mistake of being like, hey, here's a guarantee, it's gonna be great. Guess what? It wasn't. It was mediocre. It wasn't. Fucking Mortal Kombat X. I bought the season pass for that. It wasn't good. I regretted it. Stop buying season passes for stuff that you haven't played yet. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And the only time I ever buy season passes is for the Telltale stuff. Because I know that I'm going to be playing this. Even if the first episode is not that good, I'm going to want to keep going. Episodic stuff is the only stuff that I buy season passes for. Only thing. But no, not Batman, not Mortal Kombat, not Star Wars Battlefront, not Call of Duty, not Fallout, not Witcher, nothing. Don't buy season passes. Don't do this. Because the season pass stuff for Arkham Knight sucked. And the content, especially the crime fighting challenge maps and the Batmobile packs and the Predator sections, it feels so gimped compared to what you got out of the box in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Yeah, you had like the few DLC stuff here and there, but it wasn't as egregious as it is here. It feels so bare bones compared to Arkham City. Because, like, right when I looked through it and I saw there was very little, I was like, God damn it, they're saving this for the season pass. And I was absolutely right! Here it is! Here it is! $2 for Arkham, for the Predator stuff. $2 here, $2 there. $4 here, $1 there. I mean, it's all this like short change stuff where you're just like, oh well, it's not going to be in the game, but hey, I'll pay it. I'll pay it later on. It's fine. It's not worth it. Arkham Knight. And I'm telling you this: don't buy Arkham Knight until it's like, I don't know, like until like the Game of the Year edition comes out for like. And even then, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I'd wait until the Game of the Year edition went on sale, because it's just not a good game. It's really underwhelming and really disappointing. And even with the extra shit in it, it's just not very good. In fact, it's worse, because it's so half-assed. Anyway, and the ending of Arkham Knight, oh my god, is so stupid. It's the exact same problem that Dark Knight Rises suffered from, where instead of a satisfying closing ending, we have to get this thing where it's like it's an ambiguous ending, and we have to get this like open-ended kind of thing. And I hate open-ended endings for a trilogy. I hate it when they do that, because I am invested in a trilogy. I don't want more questions than answers at the end. I don't like that, and very, very, very few trilogies do that well. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know they exist. This isn't one of them. When I played The Witcher 3, the ending that I got for that game was extremely satisfying, answered all of my questions, all the loose ends got tied up, big bang of a trilogy ender. That is how you fucking do it. Not like this. Not like Arkham Knight. Not like what they pulled here. No, not worth it at all. Very disappointing. Easily the most disappointing game of 2015. I'm done thinking about these games. I'm done. I just want to put them in that little slot in my mind where I never have to dwell on them anymore. I'm done. I don't want to think about these games anymore because they make my little gamer heart hurt. Alrighty, so thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Let me know what you think, what games you think were the most disappointing of 2015. If you think I'm wrong, if you disagree, let me know. Yeah. So yeah, look for the next list, which is the worst moments of the things I hated the most about 2015 as far as video games go. That list should be coming up either next week or the week after next, but we'll see. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Later!